Hi. You can tell it's going to be one of those nights. Welcome, everybody. Joe and Mike here with you on this Monday night, another edition of the Joe Quills Show. Mike, welcome in.
Hi, thank you, Joe.
And doing good. And, just showing that after working 5 days in a row, how goofy I get. But, yeah, so it's going to be one of those nights, you can tell already. And we're going to have some fun here. And also, we're going to give you an update at the end of the show because, we got a holiday weekend coming up. So just let you know what to expect. So, but we're on the usual channels tonight. We're on my Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, subscribe on my Twitch. My Switch. I don't have a Switch.
I hope you don't have a Switch.
Well, I have those switches over there on the wall.
Oh, that Switch. Okay.
Yeah, you can go bottom right, and you can subscribe there.
Yep, all right.
I know everything's backwards and everything, and I'm trying to compensate on making it worse. Typical Polish shit. But also, we're also keeping track of the Phillies game here. A very strange game, and we'll get to that in a minute. But we're also going to tell you what's going to happen up here in a couple of minutes. And I don't know what the hell I'm saying. But
what are you saying?
I don't know. Typical me. Typical. What the fuck is he saying? Not who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, that's this guy.
But
we might have to add that one
too. I have to start searching on. Well, I do have a 3-day weekend, and since I have no fucking life. Hey, you don't have to agree with me, damn it. We all know it's true anyway.
I'm sorry.
We know it's true anyway. But we'll get through everything here. So, Phillies are playing the Mets right now. Strange game up there in Queens. We'll mention that. We'll talk about Zack Wheeler. Actually, we might be playing doctor here because we're also going to be talking about Ron Washington. He let everybody know because apparently he lives in Texas or whatever. He was in Texas, and we find out why he took that medical leave.
Oh, okay.
Now, with HIPAA laws, you don't necessarily have to, but if you're the patient and you're the one that's going to reveal it to the media, yeah, fuck it. HIPAA doesn't apply to you anymore.
Nope.
But Trey Hendrickson got a pay bump today. The reason for the title tonight, and part of it, and this is the unintentional but interesting story that would fall under also eligible, by the way, Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Join me. Also, a jockey got suspended for not giving his best effort in a race. I'll tell you guys how long. We'll take a look at the race too.
Okay.
With my amateur eyes, I watched it. I didn't show Mike. No. I mean, but he's probably going to be in the same boat I am. But we'll take a look at it because also I got some other comments with that as well from what I saw there, and a stupid shit that I saw story.
Oh.
Now, like I've said time and time again, when this segment comes up, this is not a segment that I force. It's like, it's not like, oh, well, here's some stupid shit that I saw. It's like, dude, that ain't stupid. I mean, it's how you define stupid as well, but this one's a weird one. A person whose name is the same as a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to tell you what sport because then things start to unravel.
Right.
He got arrested or he was charged with fraud what he did that he ended up with fraud, with the fraud charges, and turns it into some stupid shit that I saw.
Gotcha.
So anyways, we're watching the Phillies game here, and you know how they say stupid, like weird stuff happens, and like some teams just find a way. Well, we're watching the game. Phillies are up 3-0 at the time, and all of a sudden, the fourth inning. I think it was the fourth inning, right?
Yeah, fifth, yeah.
Let me just double check that because I want to make sure I am right.
Oh, you got out fifth inning. I remember saying something. I was asking you about that. That was fifth inning.
Let me double check here because I got like a million tabs open right now.
Okay.
Why am I going through the bookmarks when I have this thing here on the Google homepage? Anyways. It was in the fourth where things started to unravel.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so he gave up another run in the fourth. Right now they're in the sixth inning. Mets are up 4-3.
Right.
But some of the goofy stuff that happened in that fourth inning, you know, it's just like, geez, can we get a fucking break here? But basically what happened was you had let me go into the play-by-play here just so that I can get everything with this fourth inning. So they got Senga for 3 runs and they got him out of the game early. Now, how many pitches did he throw? 93 pitches in 4 innings. So yeah, that's Phillies are doing what they usually do, and that's work counts and stuff like that. So in the fourth inning, Soto singled to left. Then all the goofy stuff started happening. And there you see a base hit into the corner there. Okay, the pickoff attempt was in the fifth inning. Okay. So the Phillies get a double play. Pete Alonso, the most punchable face in baseball, gets a single to left. And everything's going smoothly here for the first 3 innings. And it hasn't been the same since.
It sure hasn't.
Now, I think what happened was his spike got caught on the mound when he was going towards the plate.
Yeah.
And everything unraveled from there.
Yeah.
Balk puts him to second.
Yeah.
A wild pitch puts Alonso at third.
Yeah.
Vientos doubles. That makes it 3-1. Nimmo singles, and that was a where did he hit that? He hit that to right field, so that made it 3-1. Taylor walked. Then McNeil hit a single where the shift was on, and it goes right under the arms of Trey Turner. You know, just dumb luck that occurred there. So then next thing you know, it's 3-3, and then Senga hits Real Muto with a pitch. They take him out of the game. Bohm hits into a double play. And then even more weird stuff. Apparently, well, Turner, TBS, they started setting up for tomorrow night's game because they're showing the game nationally on TBS, which we won't get to see the TBS thing because we get the Phillies. And unfortunately, we also do not get this. And I created this the other day. We also do not get Mark Safe from John Crux Incoherent Babbling. Fuck me. All right. Now, for those that And, as you can tell, we're going off on tangents already, and Mike's used to it by now.
Yeah.
The one thing is, people will say, oh, John Kruk's the best, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. But he's not Larry Anderson.
No.
He's not a Larry Anderson type. And in my opinion, even though he's a good color analyst, his shtick has gotten old with me. That's all. Oh, how dare you say that, blah, 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 blah. I can say it because that's how I feel.
Yep.
Don't like it, especially if somebody were to say that on Twitter, which, I haven't really said that, but, like maybe we get lucky this weekend. We don't have Kruk again, and I can share this on X this time. But this weekend we had Ruben Amaro Jr.
We like him.
And, I prefer him of the three because he's the smartest of the three.
Yeah.
John Kruk, just comes up with these stories. It's like half the shit that Donald Trump says. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And know that we're not turning this into a political thing. So don't start your shit. I'm going to start banning people. Anyways, I digress. So, then the Mets scored a run in the fifth. Soto walked. They go to pick him off. Well, first of all, Soto decides, and here's the thing, with a left-handed pitcher, and the Mets score another run there. 5-3 Mets. The one thing is, things just pile on. So pickoff attempt, well, he's forced into the pickoff because Juan Soto is about 20 feet off the base and he slips. Harper throws it to second. It hits Stott's glove and he drops it. Now, they called it a stolen base. Oh, no. Oh, wait. They did say it was a stolen base at first.
They changed it?
According to ESPN, it was a set error by Stott.
Wow. Okay.
So, I said beforehand when, I had to volume down so we didn't hear everything, but I basically said, that's not a stolen base. That's an E4. And, they fixed that. So then Vientos scored after Alonso struck out. But I think the one thing is things just got into Sanchez's head.
Yeah.
Because he's cruising. And, one thing I should have paid attention to a little more, and probably should when I'm watching the game, when did they go out to the mound? But, I think they could have went to the mound a little sooner. Like JT could have gone out. I mean, yeah, you only got 4 a game, but, or make it look like he's injured, manipulate the system, So.
Well, they did show that when he went to the dugout at the end of the 5th inning, Sanchez is usually cool, calm, collected. He was upset.
Mm-hmm.
So you could tell that it got to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, David Robertson is in the game.
Okay.
To pitch, so that's what's going on there. I'm just looking at some of the things here. Okay. Anyway, so it was announced over the weekend. Zack Wheeler will be out for the year. No surprise to us.
Nope.
Anytime you hear blood clot, anything like that, it's like, ooh. But his season is over. He was diagnosed with venous thoracic outlet syndrome, and he will go under a decompression surgery in the coming weeks. But the thing is, I mean, this is something that doesn't happen too often. At least I don't think it happens that often, but I also have never kept track as well Is this going to affect the way he pitches? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't. But then again, I mean, it's just like Tommy John surgery. You have some people. It's with some people with Tommy John, they just bounce. I mean, most pitchers now bounce back, but Noah Syndergaard, he was one of the few that didn't really bounce back. He's been bounced around team to team to team.
Yes, he is.
So, so according to Dave Dombrowski, the president of baseball operations, he said he'll miss the season, but then we figure he'll come back in a 6 to 8 month period and be the Zack Wheeler of old. That's what we've been told. Unless something unanticipated happens, he'll be able to come back and pitch like he has before this. So 6 months. So 6 months puts you right around the first spring training games of the year.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're not going to put him right on the mound. Obviously, you got to build him up.
Right.
And I imagine in that first 6 months, like you get to month 4, month 5, you'll start doing some strengthening exercise or whatever they have to do. I mean, since this isn't really something that happens too often from what I know, but I imagine he misses at least the first couple of weeks of the season if he's on the 6 month side, or so I would think, because he'd be behind in the whole getting ready for the new season.
Right.
You know, take advantage of the fact that he would have extended spring training.
Yeah.
You know, let him get a couple of extra workouts down in Florida. Down here in Florida. I'm not in Florida yet.
Where'd you go down to Florida?
I don't know.
And why didn't you take me with you?
Well, I don't want to go down Florida this time of year because it's a hurricane target season.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
You know, that's the only reason why I would never move down to Florida. I don't want to be dodging hurricanes during the summer. But now the form of the TOS that he has came on suddenly. It's a far different diagnosis and comes with a drastically different long-term outlook than neurogenic TOS. Okay, so we do have a similar case here.
You found something?
Well, it's in the article here.
Oh, okay.
That I'm looking at, which you can't see because I have 2 screens going like I always do. Since I gave you that little itty bitty one. That little 2-inch screen. We are so off the rails. So, Wheeler's case of TOS, not terms of service, is similar to that of the Rangers right-hander Merrill Kelly, who underwent the same procedure in 2020. He had surgery in September that year, similar to when Wheeler will likely have his, and Merrill was ready by spring training, and he went on to make 27 starts in 2021. The neurogenic version is the type that ultimately derailed Steven Strasburg's career and led to his early retirement.
Oh, okay. And that's the one that Wheeler doesn't have.
Yeah.
Gotcha. He got the bullet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Wheeler said, I had a press release here and another run scores. Wheeler said in a post here that, the Phillies shared, "Thank you for all support this season. Meant the world to me and my family. As many of you know, I'll be having surgery in the coming weeks, which means I'll miss the rest of the 2025 season. It's tough news, but I'm grateful for all the love and well wishes I've already received. I'm locked in on the work ahead and can't wait to be back in 2026, ready to give everything I've got for this team and city. Thanks for riding with us through it all." So, and here's the most important thing, and I kind of said it when I was comparing the Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Every individual case is different, and nobody can predict how Wheeler's particular situation will unfold.
That's true.
So, I guess that's true with basically anything.
Yeah.
Rob Thompson said it was a relief to know the issue has been diagnosed and can be remedied with surgery.
So he's our horse. He's our horse.
Yeah, he's just out the pasture.
Yeah. Time for no one to step up.
Yep, and he did step up the other day.
He sure did.
And so did Ranger Suarez.
He really did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and the thing is, Wheeler only has 2 years left on his contract.
Right.
He'll turn 36 in May. He's expressed he doesn't plan to pitch beyond his current contract, which goes through the 27th season. But, like I said before, it could, the way that I look at it,
mm-hmm.
I look at it that he's not going to sign a long-term deal, but if he feels like he can pitch in 28 and still be the guy.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't, me personally,
mm-hmm.
but he knows that once you hit a certain age, because obviously you see it many times, all the time in baseball, you just get to a certain point and then it's like off the cliff. So,
except for Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
He was the only one.
And Roger Clemens, who had a little help from.
Well, he had a little help from his friends.
From a.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Even though somebody said he never took anything, but.
Well, crap! Oh, something with my nose.
So. And also, we did have breaking news today, but we did have breaking news right before the show started. And even though we're going to talk about more health stuff, well, let me get to the other health news. Under the other health news here, because I cleared a couple of the tabs. I'm like, oh yeah, my trivia question. I was like, oh wait, it's football. But anyways, Ron Washington, the Angels manager.
Yeah.
We now know why he took that medical leave of absence. He had a quadruple bypass.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That will precipitate him taking the time off, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he said Monday that he's recovering from the quadruple bypass heart surgery, the first time he has publicly addressed his health issues that have sidelined him since June. So he met his team for the first time in Arlington, because I think he's living there in the off-season and stuff.
Right.
And, yeah, we're fucked now. Look who's warming up for the Phillies. And for those that aren't watching the game, Jordan Romano's in the game. And not sure if you saw that story I had on Instagram, which goes automatically to my Facebook. If you ever think you're doing a bad job like that, just remember Jordan Romano still has a job.
I saw that.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But Ron Washington had a quadruple bypass. He made the announcement while visiting the Angels for the first time since his operation 8 weeks ago in California. He's not returning to manage this season, but he says he hopes to have that opportunity next year. Now, I think the way that Ron Washington said this, and once I mention the record of the team while he was gone, I think it's more about being realistic about your health situation than it's, well, they're just not going to bring me back. I think it's going to be health related that they decide, yeah, we'll bring him back. No, we're not.
Right.
I don't think it's anything to do with the work that he's done. Now, he's also the oldest manager in baseball, 73. Now, this was the unplanned trivia question. This isn't the one I'm talking about, because the one I had was football related.
Okay.
Who's the second oldest manager?
Bochy.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Now Now, what gives it away is the Angels are in Texas tonight. So, um, so he was in the dugout. He was last in the dugout for a game on June 19th. The following day, the team in Washington said he was out indefinitely because of health issues after experiencing shortness of breath and appearing fatigued toward the end of that 4-game series against the Yankees. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, and I'm probably wrong, won't be the first time even on this show, probably. I believe they just said medical and left it at that.
Right.
I think. So they so he was cleared by the Yankees doctors to fly home with the team and underwent a series of tests after getting back to Southern California. The Angels announced June 27th that he was going to be on medical leave for the rest of the season. He had surgery 3 days later. So he revealed the details and medical issues before the Angels opened the 3-game series in Texas, where he still has a residence. He's going to continue to Houston, but he's going to skip that final stop on the road trip to Kansas City. He hopes to be with the team the rest of the season after the Angels return home. So he's just going to be in the booth, be in the press box or whatever, saying, watching his guys and doing whatever.
Yeah, but I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have addressed the team, but I wouldn't put it out there for anyone else. As far as everyone else, you had a medical issue, you tell the team, then you come back and say, I'm feeling better. Why put it out there?
Kind of like Major League 2. I love this shit and I might move to England.
Yeah, he did put, yeah, kind of like Major League 2.
Because I think in the movie, I don't think they, well, I don't remember. Maybe they did mention, but in terms of, to the me, I mean, it's told in the story, but I don't know if the fans know.
Well, as far as the movie's concerned, I've seen that movie dozens of times.
Yeah.
And they don't mention it to the fans, but Tom Berenger just made up that bullcrap story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't mention it to the fans. Yeah. Which is funny.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, like I said before about the HIPAA laws and everything, if you're the one controlling the story, that's the intent of HIPAA.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it isn't me telling everybody, oh, Mike's got this or Mike's got that or whatever,
Hey, shh, don't tell nobody. I told you not to tell anybody.
I didn't say anything. But if you tell me to say it, then that's different. But if I just say out of the blue, Mike's got crabs.
I don't want anyone else to know. I got nowhere else to go.
Well, I remember the one time I told a girl that I had crabs once. My mom gave me such a hard backhand. But the thing is, I wasn't lying. I had a hermit crab when I was 4 years old. Of course, because of the vagueness of it, you think of down there. And Mom goes, what?
I can see Mom doing that too. Yeah. I can see her doing that.
Oh, and of course it was the hand with the ring on it. It hurt like hell.
I can see that.
If a little old lady like her hits me with the right hand, be like, oh, come on, hit me a little harder.
Yeah, but the left hand with the ring.
Come on.
What you were big.
I'll make sure I hold you up so you don't fall over.
But being big that you were, I can see that. Yeah.
But using the left hand, you get the ring just right, and boom, it's like, man, you left him more. But basically, at least that's how I surmise HIPAA and all that, and that sort of thing. So, but hopefully, even if he doesn't go back next year, and hopefully it's because of, but I mean, I would think that he's back next year if he's healthy enough and gets the clearance from his doctors. Ray Montgomery, the interim manager, went 25-31. So, but the thing is, they're not expected to do anything.
No, they're not.
So, but it is, you just hope he's going to be fine in real life, and if it leads to anything else, that's fine too. But
well, like we always say, the health is important.
Yeah, health is the more important thing.
Yep.
So, okay. So, so we're going to go to football here, but before I get to the football story I have here, I saw this trivia question. And the reason why I'm mentioning this trivia question is because Super Bowl winning quarterback Kenny Pickett has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders.
New team.
And that is the third time that he's been traded in the last 18 months.
That's true.
You know who else was also traded 3 times in the last 18 months?
Who?
Your new backup quarterback, Sam Howell, the Eagles.
Oh. Okay.
Now, you know how we have that thing in baseball where Dick Mountain Rich Hill and I forget the other guy's right-handed reliever. It's not Octavio Dotel, but they played for like 14 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to Ross Tucker, and I trust him because, he is from Princeton. He's also a backup host for the Dan Patrick Show and all that. 2 guys. One of them is a Hall of Famer. 2 NFL players have been traded, not 1, not 2, not 3, but times.
Wow.
Can you name either of them?
T.O.
No. Hall of Famer, I will give you that clue for 1.
I know it's not Troy Aikman.
The other guy,
yeah,
famously got knocked out of a Super Bowl. Let me just make sure I.
Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, that's the one I'm checking here.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the one. That's the non. That's the non-Hall of Famer.
Right.
He got destroyed by Malcolm Jenkins in the Super Bowl. Now, his 4 trades. In 2017, he went to the Saints to the Patriots. He played in the Super Bowl and then got destroyed. He then went from New England to the Rams in 2018. 2020, he went from the Rams to the Texans. In 2023, he went from the Texans to the Cowboys.
Hall of Fame?
He's not a Hall of Famer, no. He's not even eligible because he played in 2023 because you got to be out of football 5 years. Now, the Hall of Famer, I think this other clue will give it away. He is a record holder.
Not Marino.
No. Well, the other two trades here you may not realize.
Okay.
Because the other two trades, I'm like, he played for that team and he played for that team. So, but I'm trying to think of a good clue where I can give you a little bit of a hint, but not too much of a hint.
Wait a minute.
He is connected.
Yeah.
He is connected with, indirectly, in a way, with a Philadelphia Eagle.
Von Miller came to my mind.
No.
But he was traded 2 or 3 teams.
He's still active.
But he's still active. And it's indirectly connected to the Eagles.
Somewhat connected, yeah. Once, I'm not going to mention the person's name.
Right.
And also, if you're watching and you are screaming at your monitors or phones or whatever, you can mention who it is.
And he's a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Good gracious.
Offensive side of the ball.
Quarterback?
No.
Running back?
Maybe. Yeah.
This game's over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said who they brought him in.
And like I said, look who's coming into the game.
Yeah. I'm having a brain fart.
All right. The somewhat of a connection to the Eagles is Saquon Barkley. Now, what I'm connecting is Saquon, everybody wanted him to go for Eric Dickerson's record.
Right.
Eric Dickerson's was traded 4 times in his career.
AD. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that.
Mm-hmm. You see why I was saying he was somewhat connected?
That is somewhat. But you know what? You did say Rams too. Yeah.
He was originally with the Rams. Right. I never mentioned the teams, did I?
Yeah.
Did I? No, I mentioned Brandon Cook's teams. I didn't mention Eric Dickerson.
No, you didn't.
So in '87, he went from the Rams to the Colts.
Right.
In '92, he went from the Colts to the Raiders.
Right.
July of '93, he went from the Raiders to the Falcons. That's the first trade. I'm like, huh?
He played for the Falcons?
And in October, he went to the Green Bay Packers. So,
Eric,
let me just check one thing here. Let me go to Pro Football Reference. And Ross Tucker better be right here, because he played 4 games for Atlanta in '93. 26 attempts, 91 yards, 4 first downs, long yardage, 10 yards. You can tell that he was
done.
He was done, yeah. Let me see here. So I'm trying to see here. Accolades. I might have to go on the wiki.
Wiki?
He was traded July 7th to the Falcons for a 6th-round pick. He played a backup role making his final nationalized television appearance during Monday Night Football, September 27th. The Falcons trade Dickerson and third-year quarterback Bruce Pickens to Green Bay for running back John Stevens. The trade came a week after Dickerson said he had been told that the Falcons were waiving him because Jerry Glanville wanted to use younger players. That sounds like something Jerry Glanville would do.
That's true, yeah.
Oh, okay. So he failed the physical with the Packers, so that's why he never played. So technically he was traded. Now, if you fail a physical in some sports, the trade is null and void, but they just fuck it.
Yeah.
We got what we really wanted in the cornerback. So
Eric Dickerson. Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So a guy who has been traded a grand total of 0 times, even though a lot of Eagles fans wanted to be 1 time, is Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
He got paid today, kinda. More of a hey, here's a little extra money to come on to the to play this year.
Yeah, because if Cincinnati didn't sign him, they weren't going nowhere now, but they really weren't going anywhere.
Well, their offensive line is bad too.
It is, but he's their best defensive player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his contract situation's resolved. He gets a $14 million raise. He'll make $30 million this year. He's scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent after the season. Now, the way that they worded that, I'm like, is there something here that says, they promised not to put him as a franchise player, but no indication of that one way or the other? So depending on how they do things, I imagine they will franchise tag him, like the same way that they're doing with, like Micah Parsons. But Micah Parsons is getting to the point where might be out of town by next Thursday.
Yeah.
But as long as he goes to an AFC team,
yeah,
you only have to face him once every 4 years.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're not trading him within the division.
No, definitely not.
No. But so he's scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent after this year. He's not participating in any off-season workouts. Yeah. I mean, that's the new thing in the NFL. It's not holding out. It's sit-ins.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do this, and this, but I'm not going to do anything else. Unlike Micah Parsons, where he just lies his ass down on the training bench on Friday night or whatever night it was.
But doesn't this make this shows how much of a circus that organization is?
Dallas?
Yes.
Oh, it's been a circus since Jerry Jones took over.
It did.
Well, yeah, because him and Jimmy Johnson got a no pissing match. Then he brought in Barry Switzer. And then he brought in this rotating circus of goofy ass coaches.
Yeah, he did.
So.
Yeah. I feel for them about that much.
Yeah.
About that much.
And also,
I'm sorry, wait a minute. That much.
And we, as Eagles fans, even though this will probably be construed as insensitive, we like to thank the doctors for saving Jerry Jones' life from stage 4, I think it was melanoma. Because, we don't, as Eagles fans, we don't want somebody making the decisions that has a fucking clue.
Because he definitely doesn't have a clue, that's for sure.
He's also 80-some years old, 82. And he's still looking for Glory Hole, even though I have to actually download that this weekend. Because I do have a 3-day weekend this weekend. I mean, I prefer to work the holiday, but But so now I can understand part of the reason why that they held that since I was like, we can't pay you, but so he Hendrickson did insist he would not play the season under the original contract of $16 million.
Okay.
But but Hendrickson had 17.5 sacks last year, leading the league. He was named to the All-Pro team. Blah 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 blah. Now here's the reason why you're beginning to wonder. Well, and this is where you need the Howie Roseman way of manipulating the salary cap and stuff like that. It's the third significant deal the Bengals have made this offseason in an effort to maintain their roster. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were signed to significant extensions. Chase signed a 4-year deal for $161 million. T. Higgins signed a 3-year for $115. So with Hendrickson signed now or given extra money, along with Joe Burrow, you got 4 different guys. That's right, who make an average of $30 million a year.
Yeah.
So it's all about manipulating the cap so you can fit all 4 of those big ticket players in, and also fit the rest of the team in there under the cap.
Howie Roseman, that's why he is going to the GM Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easy.
Mm-hmm. So this is a compromise for both sides ahead of the upcoming year. Now, throughout the offseason, Hendrickson had repeatedly stated he wanted a long-term deal with significant guaranteed money. Now, last week, Laura Rutledge said that the two sides had agreed on the length and total value of a potential contract extension, but they just agreed to bump the money for this year. So I don't know where she got that, but he's still scheduled to become a free agent in 2026. So he wouldn't play for this current salary. He gets a little bit extra money, but I don't know about you, but I mean, the problem isn't necessarily, well, the defense was pretty bad last year, but shockingly bad. But but their offensive line, man.
Yeah, they need someone to to protect Joe Cool. Gotcha. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Cool, was it +1? Joe Cool ×1? Because there was only one Joe Cool. Okay. Joe Cool.
Oh, that Joe Cool.
That Joe Cool, yeah. The one who won how many championships?
Oh, that one.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd you think I was talking about?
I thought you were calling Joe Burrow Joe Cool.
I was. But the first one, I think Joe Cool, I'll call him Joe Cool ×1.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
Well, Joe Cool ×1 equals Joe Cool. Because, like, for example, 3 × 1 is 3.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Now, technically, if you're comparing Joe Burrow to Joe Montana is Joe Cool ×4 because he has 4 rings.
That's true. I know what I was thinking. Joe Cool 2.0. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind us.
I was going somewhere with it.
Yeah. Oh, you can tell it's one of those nights.
But one thing about Burrow can, he's a good quarterback, but he definitely needs protection.
Yeah. Put a body condom on him? You say he needs protection.
I don't know if he needs that protection.
Well, as long as he doesn't frost his hair, he's cool.
Yeah.
If he does, then we have to protect him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so before we get to this next story here, just want to remind you that my Saturday show, Also Eligible, will be live on the Bleacher Brothers channels at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. And it is Pacific Classic Day. And I don't think they drew for Saturday. Let me just double check that here. But journalism will be running against older horses in the Pacific Classic. Because, if he would have ran against Sovereignty this past weekend, probably would have been a 2-horse race, literally. A literal match race, because it's like, oh, fuck, we ain't running this. But Del Mar has not drawn yet, but journalism is nominated and will run on Saturday, barring anything unforeseen. So that is the case there. And also, I'm going to sneak in whether my special guest on Saturday does show up or not. I will be looking at the Nashville Derby. Now, I'm also going to warn you right now, whether this special guest is here or not, I am going to make a reference to Sarah Palin. No, not Nailing Palin.
Okay.
You remember, I think Sarah Palin did say this, but it wouldn't be surprised if Saturday Night Live said it and set everything off or whatever. Sarah Palin, I believe, said, "I can see Russia from my backyard" or something.
Yes, she did.
So I will say this right now. Do not be surprised when I'm talking about Kentucky Downs that I paraphrase that and say, I can see Tennessee from beyond the back, in the background on the final turn.
I got you.
Because when, I'm even going to show you this here. I don't need Ross Tucker anymore. So let's go to Google Maps. Let's go here. Kentucky Jelly Downs. Okay, so we bring up the map. Open in maps. And I'm going to share my screen here. And by the way, you can get a room at the Spring Hill Suites. The Spring Hill Suites Franklin Mint. No, not that Franklin Mint, because it's the Mint Casino. That's why.
Okay.
But so I am going to be joking around. So, this is also a European style course, as you can see there, because there's like all kinds of undulations here and goofy turns and stuff like that. It's an asymmetrical track. Also, see that right there?
Yeah.
Go to the south and east, you're in Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
That's how close they are to Tennessee.
I can see the reference now. Okay.
So Sarah Palin sees Russia from her backyard. While we're watching the races there starting on Thursday,
right,
you can see Tennessee in the background.
Okay.
When they run around and when they start to go into that turn.
I can see it. Okay. I see the reference.
Until you get to late in the day and the sun's starting to set and all that, and you're trying to look and you're like, where the fuck are the horses? I can't see. But
gotcha.
So, and people go there and they'll see the "Welcome to Kentucky" sign, and then to the right there you will see Kentucky Jelly Downs.
Wow.
But some of the goofy shit. But yeah, we'll definitely look at that one race, and we're going to look at the races. Most of the show is going to be Del Mar, and I already told the person I was talking to, a male. I said that, just to let you know, if the whole show goes 2 hours, I don't care because I'm off. Because if that person does come on, we do have some things we're going to talk about, like that's horse racing related. So,
gotcha.
So if it goes to that long, and we have more breaking news We have more breaking news. The big dumper just dumped his 50th home run of the year.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So they got away from us, and he just started hitting home runs again, huh?
Well, they hit a home run against San Diego.
Right.
And, and the thing I will say, San Diego played LA. Now they got to play Seattle. It's like, we got to play Seattle?
Yeah.
But, so we did have that 50th home run from the big dumper. He dumped one into the left field seats. But, and he was, according to Pickett Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, this all means, it just depends upon your sports book. And by the way, top right there, trying to get my finger in the right direction there. To the wrong way, Mike. Wrong way. There you go. You had that Bleacher Brothers promotion by state.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
You can use your handy dandy phone.
Right.
Where's my fucking phone? Oh, here it is. I was charging it because.
Well, here's my phone if you want to use my phone.
Well, in your case, I can just give you the link because we were talking about it before the show.
Right.
I can just go on here. And you get
someone scan the QR code.
And you can get the Bleacher Brothers links here.
Wow.
And like, for example, in Pennsylvania, for example, like you can just change the drop down to the state that you're in,
mm-hmm.
and it will tell you what's available in Pennsylvania, for example. Like, okay, so let me go back over here because I wasn't sure if it updated. So in Pennsylvania, you got the choice of FanDuel, Caesars, Bet365, DraftKings, BetMGM. I think that, I don't know. Novig and Flip. A couple of those are more. Novig and Flip are more social,
right,
so to speak. But BetMGM is, with casinos, and also if you have a BetMGM card, you have the MGM casino card,
mm-hmm.
whatever they call it. You can M Life, I think it is, whatever they call it. You can use that. Like, for example, if you go to Borgata, DraftKings, Bet365, Caesars, you can link your Caesars card, FanDuel, but there's all different promotions, and you can use that on the top right.
Right.
And on top of that, if you want to join any of those sports books, and you're clicking on that promo,
mm-hmm.
let me know at joe@bleacherbrothers.com. Because I'll get a finder's fee for helping you to go through the Bleacher Brothers links.
Right.
So,
nothing wrong with that.
So just to let you guys know, and probably now the one thing I've been doing, and we're going on tangent upon tangent upon tangent. Now that AJ has given us new links and everything else, I can start making my pages start looking like some of the others when I write my article.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, tomorrow's a night race, so I can just say, oh, fuck this. I don't feel like writing tonight. Actually, it's what happened today because I tried to write last night.
Right.
And I really wanted to look at 12:30, an overflow field of 16, which was going to get cut down to 12.
Right.
Of 2-year-olds, baby race, where most of them had not run. So guess what?
What?
Fuck it, we're going to write about something else. So we end up writing about Louisiana Down and got my dick kicked in because I just didn't feel like betting on the. So starting tomorrow, because I had these links here. And this is the article from today, whatever, my horse was in there at the end. I kind of figured that, but I was hoping.
Right.
So, like for example, I put this near the end. I can trade that with my FanDuel ad.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is, I can get rid of that. Yeah, I can actually put the link there. Like for example, if you see that ad on any part of the site,
Mm-hmm.
especially which one is that on? Damn it. It's on mine. Boom. See?
Oh,
But I'm not giving them too much,
gotcha.
kind of make fun of them. But, so check out those ads. They're there for a reason on the Bleacher Brothers page. And, you can go through the main page and you can go through there. And even I'm looking at, like, for example, the very first ad that's there. The very first ad I see, well, not the Deck 84 thing. FanDuel, bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
Wow.
So, but you got to win. And hopefully you played the Mets tonight because the Phillies just shit the bed tonight because, just the goofy shit that occurs from time to time. But, and there's a reason why I promote FanDuel. And, we have, I think we pretty much have carte blanche to, like, I will promote FanDuel, somebody else will promote something else, because not only with FanDuel, even though I pick on Belterra Park a lot on Saturdays, because if you watch the beginning of the show, I'm going through the different promotions that they have within the racing page. Like, I will tell you, well, if you sign up, maybe you play a first 5 innings in baseball, then you get those things, and then you make some extra money or whatever. Then come on over to the horse racing side with the money that's isn't tied up to the sports book. You can take advantage of the initial bet, which is a $500. Let me get that here so I can quote that properly, because I have it ready to go on Saturdays, and I'm just like, well, you do this and you do that, and well, I can't do it, damn it. So basically, you get a $500 wager, up to $500.
Gotcha.
And once you sign up your first wager, you can make up to a $500 wager, and if your horse doesn't win, you get $500 back, and you can use that as free money for a week, or up to a week, depending on how quickly you use that money.
Right.
But the one thing I tell guys when we're on here, like for example, this time of the night, if you're going to use it, wait till Saratoga on Wednesday. Because the thing is, if you put $500 down, like for example, you put $500 down at Assiniboia Downs, you're going to turn a 20 to 1 shot to a 1 to 5. Because there isn't much money in pools, and you'll sweat in pools.
Oh, right, gotcha.
Whereas on a Saturday, you can use Saratoga, Del Mar, Kentucky Downs, even, the races where they are going to get a shitload of money.
Right.
You put $500 down, you're just moving it from 18.3 to 18.2 for the odds, let's say, because there's so much money in the pools.
Right.
That's what I try to tell people. So, and the one thing is, when I start scrolling down the list, because on the left-hand side, you'll see all the available races that are available to wager. And the thing is, in Pennsylvania, there's certain tracks that you can't wager on because they're either quarter horse or there's just no agreement to show the races. Like, for example, the Iowa Derby Day, when I gave out the one winner, the race after at 14-1 odds.
Right.
I couldn't play it on FanDuel because Prairie Meadows is part quarter horse, part thoroughbred. They don't allow racing from Prairie Meadows on the FanDuel site. But I can go to Parks. I can go to Twin Spires. And I know we're promoting FanDuel. I'm talking about these other things. I can go in there. It's just the agreements in the states that you're in. That's the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But and Belterra is one of the tracks I pick on. It's like, well, if you're going to use the whole 500 Belterra, be careful because you're going to influence the pools and you're not going to get the return on investment if you win. But we did have an incident at Belterra this week. And thus the reason why, how to succeed without really trying? Well, he didn't. Well, he did succeed in getting his ass suspended. He was suspended for failing to give his best effort in a race at Belterra Park on Thursday. Now, I'm going to show the race with the sound down or sound off. Albin Jimenez is on the 2 of Fleet Vintage, and we're going to watch the race. And with our amateur eyes, we'll find that maybe nothing really happens that's worth mentioning. And like, for example, you see here on the left side here, all the tracks. Earlier in the day, when I first come on here on Saturday morning, you have all the tracks here, and I scroll down. It's like, well, if you go here and you go here and you go here, you'll get more bang for your buck if you win.
Right.
Whereas if you go to Ocean Downs, you'll influence the pools. So it isn't picking on them; it's just stating facts. But the horse that we're going to be looking for is a Fleet Vintage. He was a 3-5 favorite here. Whoops. I'm going to zoom that out. And
that's horse number what?
Numero uno.
Gotcha.
For our Spanish-speaking audience. Hey, yo. But anyways, here we go.
There we go. All set.
So, and of course, they redid Belterra Park. It used to be River Downs. What they did was when they rebuilt this track, they shifted everything basically 1/8 of a mile to the left. But, and he renamed it Belterra instead of River Downs. But
and they're off. Sky Key broke.
So he's trying to go for the lead here.
Carey is going to the front along the inside. That's a Fleet Vintage, along with Ace on the turn. Then it's Red Hill.
So he gets the lead from being on the rail and having the shortest distance. And a couple of horses pass him there. So he's sitting there. I'm guessing it's because of like from here to about the top of the stretch. So he's sitting there, you know. And mind you, I don't know what exactly his races were like, so I didn't necessarily look.
Okay.
But the thing is, whenever you have these, it gets passed by the 3 horse there on the outside. The 2's about to try to pass. You know, the thing is, the stewards and all that, they know something ain't right. And we'll get into what exactly happened here. So he's last here. So the 3's going to come on the outside. The 1's going to start making a belated move here. So they're at the quarter pole there. Remember I was telling you about the poles being different colors and stuff?
Yeah.
Like the 3/16 is black and white. So you see him coming in the stretch. 3's gone.
off the upset. Permit to carry. Then here comes the outside.
And the gate's in the way. You see him starting to move, but he's not getting to the 3.
Permit to carry the win it by about 3 or 4 lengths. A Fleet Vintage was second. Ace on the turn third. Was fourth.
Now, if there's anything, it's probably along the backstretch, in my opinion. But I mean, even though I'm called the horse racing expert of Bleacher Brothers, you kind of, yeah, maybe. But
that's how they usually run the first quarter mile of the races, the way he's running.
But also, usually 5-horse races are funny because they're small fields.
Right.
But this class of these lower class claiming races, like this was, these small fields are normal. And we got another one. And that is on Bleacher Brothers, so ban. So I mean, you see everything there.
Permit to carry has a short lead. Red Hill is on the inside. Then here comes Sky Key.
I got a theory.
As they have a little bit more than a furlong remaining. Permit to carry trying to pull off the upset.
I'm looking at those other 4 horses, and I see them have the I don't know if they call it the whip when they hit the horses. I didn't see him do that.
Yeah, and that may be part of the reason why as well.
Yeah, I saw him do it with his hand.
Yeah.
I saw that the first time.
So now also remember, because HISA, which is the horse racing people, and I'm going to kill this only because we're done showing that. And, you can make your own decisions. And the thing is, people that are more hardcore than I am, they'll say, oh, yeah. Even people that are doing their own thing, that's something right there, you get the people saying, oh, he held him back, he's doing this, he's doing that, this jockey is well. Also, there was a jockey, and I think he did it twice. One was at Keeneland, Luan Machado. He mistook allegedly the 2 wires that they have at Keeneland because they had the short stretch and a regular stretch. I think he did something in Belterra, but I'm trying to be careful with this so that if like his agent is mysteriously watching, next thing you know, Bleacher Brothers has this thing, and I just don't want to deal with that bullshit. But Luan Machado did have an incident in Kentucky, and I think he was suspended. Now, I think something similar to this happened at Belterra before.
Okay.
So that's why he was issued a 1-year suspension.
Ouch.
To the track's leading rider after reviewing a race last week, which the jockey finished second as the 7-10 favorite. So I think even if it's not that particular jockey, they're trying to set a tone here, saying this ain't going to happen at our track. So if you want to play fuck around, find out, this jockey just found out. Now, he's still going to be the leading jockey there probably because I don't know how many race days are left there, but he's got twice as many wins as the next guy, 81 to 41, I think it is.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he does win. And, he doesn't always win no matter what. That song. All I do is win.
Right.
Well, he doesn't always win, but, then you start wondering, but so he had 81 wins, almost double the next leading rider. He was issued a suspension following Friday's meeting with the stewards to review the film from the second race of Belterra on August 21st. He finished second in the race, as we saw. And the Friday meeting with the stewards to review the film from the second race, he finished second on Fleet Vintage. He was beaten 3 lengths. by the 3-to-1 third choice, written by Summer Pauley, an apprentice. So, and here's the first mistake he made, in my opinion. But I don't know how these meetings go in terms of, is this something, I think that it also depends upon, are you quote unquote unionized, so to speak?
Right.
Because, they're all, in a way, they're all contractors.
Right.
So he appeared at the meeting without legal counsel. Now, legal counsel could be his agent, because an agent does go through law school. So the ruling says that the meeting concerned the rider's failure to give the best effort to attain a winning performance and conduct detrimental to the best interests of racing. And also making people making some of the staff around the track clean a couple too many tickets, because, when your ticket loses, you know how I helicopter those fuckers.
I know.
But, so like I mentioned, the 5-horse field. So he was allowed to settle down the backstretch, which we saw, then angled out the head of the lane and closed to get up for place. It was a 5-horse field. The size of the pari-mutuel field pools for the race were within the normal ranges for a minor claiming race at Belterra. So there wasn't anything money-wise that was affecting.
Gotcha.
Now the horses trained, and here's where things started falling apart here for him. He was trained by Thomas Drury, who regularly employs Jimenez as a rider. Well, not anymore after what he did. Now, he did not return a phone call from the Daily Racing Forum, where I got this article from. Mm-hmm. He spoke with the Belterra stewards after the race to register a complaint about his ride, according to Horse Racing Nation. Burt Crawford, Jimenez's agent, declined to comment on the suspension, the ride, or whether Jimenez plans to appeal. So it goes into effect on Friday, which is probably the next day Belterra runs, and that the suspension will be reduced to 6 months if Jimenez does not appeal. As of Monday afternoon, Chris Dragone, who's the executive director of the Ohio Racing Commission, said the commission has not received a notice of appeal. So I don't think he's riding for that trainer ever again.
Probably not.
Because the trainer is who report him. And it may be, now also in Ohio, even though they do have slot machines, and I'm putting this here because the wind's blowing in, and right, even though it feels good, shit's going to start blowing. The fact that the trainer reported him, now you're trying to get money any way you can, because no matter if it's a claimer in that class or one of the top horses on the grounds, that money that the owners and the trainers make are going back to the horses.
Right.
So they're making all this money because, we're living off this. We're trying to survive on this. Whereas the top people, like Griffin Johnson, he doesn't need the money. But, he's got Sandman, he's got Ewing, a 2-year-old who's very impressive in his 2 races. He also has a horse that's going to be running at the Hopeful on Monday, next Monday at Saratoga closing day. He's got a couple of good horses there, and he's a friend of Bleacher Brothers and all that, and that's why we're going to feature. We're going to have the Nashville Derby feature because Sandman is one of his horses. So,
gotcha.
And he's running on the turf for the first time. So,
okay.
So, but with everything that you see here, it kind of looks funny, and obviously the stewards have more cameras than I showed you here. Like I probably would have to go onto Twin Spires where I'd have to show like the head on, not head on applied directly to the forehead. Remember that commercial?
Right.
Which was bullshit. You know, but does it seem a little funny? Yeah, but you know, I mean, I guarantee you that we see this a lot. And I think that they're just saying, you know what? I mean, this may be the second or third time that this has happened. Yeah, we're not playing around. You're going to sit a while. So, but that's something that happens from time to time in racing. And, you know, now other people will get to ride for that trainer, and hopefully that trainer can still win races with other not as talented jockeys.
Yeah, but what happens if you're riding for that trainer and you feel like you've done your best and you don't win, and he reports you, and it happens again? Then what?
Well, obviously he's not going to be riding for him again.
Now I'm talking about anyone else who would ride for this trainer. Cause it sounds so suspicious to me.
Well, depending on what the trainer does. Now, there was this trainer who I don't think he trains anymore. And every trainer's different. You know, and a lot of times the jockey will talk with the trainer and say, hey, this is what happened in the race. And, you know, the trainer saw something. He probably the area where he's watching the race before going down to the track to get his horse, whatever.
Right.
He probably sees the head on the back stretch, the head on in the home stretch. You know?
Right.
He probably sees those cameras as well and sees something that our eyes didn't really see. And also, he knows the horse enough, probably, because I don't know how many times he's been claimed or whatever. He probably knows that horse probably should have destroyed that field by 15 lengths. Even though, I mean, depending on how large your stable is.
Interesting. Okay.
But, you know, if I'm a jockey, am I a little worried? Maybe, but you know what? You have to prove yourself, right?
That's true.
Especially if you're a jockey that doesn't normally ride for him. It's like, hey, bring those horses to me. I can get you some wins without any questions.
Right.
You know, but you know, and there may have been more there that article there mentioned. Like, for example, you know, did we, you know, what was the conversation afterwards, or was the trainer just so angry at him because he didn't do what he told him to do that he just said, all right, well, I'm calling the stewards, fuck him, you know? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
Now, here's the other thing. If another jockey runs with that same horse and that horse wins by 3, 4, 5 lengths, then what he did would be justified.
Yeah.
But if he does it,
yeah. But, you know, I'm sure he said, well, this is what I told him to do. He didn't do it.
Okay, that makes sense too. Okay.
And this is what I was expecting to do. There was nothing, and you know, he may see like a little tug that we didn't see, even
right.
Like you mentioned, not using the whip or whatever. Right. But also remember, because HISA is a watchdog for all the racetracks except for a couple of different tracks in America.
Mm-hmm.
You can only whip a horse 6 times. Now, you can whip a 7th time, but you got to prove it's a corrective measure in order to do that 7th one. You can't just whip just for the sake of whipping a horse.
Right.
You know, you can whip a 7th time during a race if it's corrected, but you know, once you use that 6, you know, that's like the jockey that won the Derby this year.
Mm-hmm.
He got fined, what was it, $65,000 or something like that for whipping a horse 7 or 8 times instead of the usual 6.
What the heck?
But there's the whole play that now you see why it's not a stolen base. But enough about the Phillies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's going to be figuring out what to do with his life in the next 6 months.
Yeah, he is.
So
I guess he'll listen to the trainer next time, huh?
Yep. And he's it's a 6 month. So that'll take him to the end of February. And I don't know if he goes to the other racetrack in Ohio, which is Mahoney Valley, or he goes to Kentucky. But, if you get suspended one track, all the other tracks honor it.
It seemed like it, don't it?
So, I mean, he may go to Turfway Park, which is just on the other side of the river, or he may go to Mahoney Valley or whatever. But he's not going to be running for a while. He's not going to be going for a while. So he can't even get on the grounds. So those are the kinds of things that slip through the cracks when I have my Saturday show. But we sneak in those horse racing comments here and there. So also, we're going to go to a segment that I like to bring up from time to time. It's called the Stupid Shit I Saw segment. And this is a doozy, even for being posted on ESPN today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and for those that are watching, I will tell you this. I do not plan these out for a reason. Because I don't want to have Pork Chop. Welcome in. He's out there in the Pacific Northwest.
Hey, Pork Chop.
I don't want to have a story that's way up here in terms of holy shit, laughing, shaking your head, whatever. Just don't shake your head too hard like Michael J. Fox last week. Even though I still haven't loaded up the thing where, when I hear when this thing goes 88, you're going to see some serious shit. Well,
right.
He only went as high as 73, I think, but sometimes you're going to shake your head like Michael J. Fox. Sometimes you're going to laugh. Sometimes you're going to cringe, whatever. But this is one where I was like, ESPN posted this? But this is a funny one here. A Tennessee man, not Florida, because you know how those Florida stories usually go.
Right.
A Tennessee man with the same name as New York Yankees legend Babe Ruth is facing alleged charges alleging that he used names of hundreds of dead or retired pro baseball players to make phony claims for payouts and class action settlements.
What the heck? What?
I shouldn't laugh like this with holding my head up because then the cameras shake and the monitors shake, and it seems like we're having a 6.0 earthquake right now.
Earthquake!
Yeah, when we had that earthquake, what was it, earlier this year or last year?
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the couch half asleep. I'm thinking that somebody's moving in, moving out, and they got something heavy, and they're just pushing it down the thing. Like kind of like how we moved this couch right here.
Right.
And we had that pocket Hercules that used to live next door that was moving out from the one next door down the hall. And she's lifting things. It's like, Jesus Christ, you're going to kill yourself. You're about 80 pounds. So fine. But pocket Hercules, even though we made a huge mark on the carpet, thankfully they changed the carpet like the next week because, they were doing renovation.
Right.
Anyway, so he made phony claims. Now, his name, George Herman Ruth.
That's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Whoa.
And he didn't do it on hot dogs. Remember that sign at Citizens Bank Park when Barry Bonds would come to town, and he said Babe Ruth did it on hot dogs and beer. You did it on syringes and shit. Guarantee it wasn't that, but he was charged with 91 counts in the indictment handed down by the U.S. District Court in Greenville, Tennessee on August 12th, the U.S. Attorney's Office announced last week. He is a 69-year-old from Morristown, Tennessee. He's charged with mail fraud, aggravated identity theft, fraudulent use of Social Security numbers, money laundering, making false statements to his probation officer, and possessing firearms after having previously been convicted of felonies.
George!
We'll get into why he's on probation in a moment.
Okay.
Because he did something similar in the past. So he obtained or attempted to obtain more than $550,000 through the scheme. He sought payouts and lawsuit settlements that range from contact lens pricing allegations to claims of racial discrimination against a staffing agency, the indictments adds.
Wow.
So he opened more than a dozen post office boxes in several Tennessee cities for himself and sham companies, then submitted hundreds of fraudulent claim forms to class action administrators across the country, according to the indictment. He used the old baseball players' names or variations of his own name and the Social Security numbers of unwitting victims, according to prosecutors. Now, first of all, I told you about my banking situation. I even think the way that I'm doing it is a little too much work with the way that I told you how I'm doing things now and all that. But it does make sense because, first of all, my bank isn't as convenient as it used to be. Partially because, just the way corporate America is. Even though I'm not blaming that bank, it's just, they put their ATMs in certain stores and all that.
Sure.
So even that, just the way that I have it set up is a hassle.
Right.
But more than a dozen post office boxes, 69 years old, I'm sitting my ass on the couch if I'm retired.
Right? Yeah.
That just seems like a little too much work. Now, granted, he's probably in the sticks where you have Bumblefuck East Post Office,
Right.
Bumblefuck West, Bumblefuck North, Bumblefuck South, Hillbilly. You get the idea.
Right.
Also, the way that I am, I wouldn't be able to keep track of everything because, my luck, I'd be saying, oh, I'm this company. And I go to this post office, and it's like, oh shit, I meant this company, and I'd be giving it away.
Right.
What's the best way of not doing, I would be messing it up all along, And there's a thing on Facebook called Scammer Payback.
Mm-hmm.
Check out those videos too. That's something different from this, but it's some interesting stuff that you see online.
Okay.
So the indictment doesn't list the names of the players that Ruth claimed to be.
Right.
But they describe some of them. Some played for defunct teams such as the Philadelphia Athletics.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if he's using the Connie Mack team starting in 1901. I don't know if he's talking about the 1800. And you can tell that I'm working on the out of the park baseball promotion relegation thing that I'm trying to do, and I keep getting stuck and I have to start over.
Right.
The St. Louis Browns
Hmm.
and the Kansas City Packers, which I think is a Federal League team in 1914 and 1915, if I'm not mistaken.
This dude.
And of course, the public defender, which also this isn't a good sign that you have a public defender, declined to comment. Now, probably the reason why he was on probation.
Mm-hmm.
He previously pled guilty in an Indiana federal court to a scheme to commit Social Security fraud. In 2020, he was sentenced to prison before going on probation from August 23rd until July 2025, according to court records. So, he can keep his nose clean,
No. He couldn't. Dude.
And kind of like how the real Babe Ruth got caught with a mistress or 4 or 5 or 6 or
Something
whatever.
like that.
But but what's weird is his name is George Herbert Ruth.
That is the weirdest thing. That's his actual name.
And on top of that, I mean, I'm sure even a kid who was 21, 22 would do that, like, especially if they know their sports.
Right.
Let me pull up the Hall of Fame here. Tris Speaker. Okay, I can turn that to Tristan. Richie Ashburn. Okay, Richard Ashburn.
Right.
Just change things up a little bit. Okay. So security. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
That is. Yeah, he needs to just retire and just sit down, dude. Shut up.
I mean,
yeah.
I know the economy is shit and all that, but
Gee, George.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, that's up there. That's
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say to you guys, it's not a fraud, but if you go bottom right, you can follow me and you can subscribe to me on Twitch. Now, granted, you have to be on the Twitch page. So if I'm pointing toward the bottom right, even though I'm not really, I'm kind of pointing that way now.
Right.
If you're on the Twitch page, you can subscribe. Mike did. I told him not to, but he did, But, and by the way, I have to change the banking information on there as well. But, subscribe, because I am going to be doing some gaming soon. And shocker, it's going to be baseball.
Did not know that.
Yes, you did, because I showed you. I don't have it on this one, damn it. Can I add it? No. Fuck it. And by the way, talking about, fuck it. I should have that on there. Lee Corso. From when they were doing the head thing.
Yeah.
The mascot head prediction.
Uh-huh.
He was in Houston for Houston SMU when Houston was still in the American.
Right.
Carl Lewis is there. He goes, SMU, USA, red, white, and blue. Gets the SMU hat. He goes, fuck it. Throws the hat and gets it. This Saturday is Lee Corso's last show. So they brought him back for one show this year. And I think he's 90 years old.
Yeah, he's been up, yeah.
He is 90 years old. He coached back in 1969.
Hey, okay.
So he is back for one final show. They did have a thing on the ESPYs. Now, granted, how many people probably watch the ESPYs other than me, which was just like, who gives a shit,
Right.
Probably about 4, 5, 6. And by the way, the Eagles were the team of the year on the ESPYs.
Yes, they were. Yes.
And like I said on that one Discord, I live in Philadelphia, home of the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. Now, granted, you don't get that Bruce Buffer feel when
Right.
when the UFC, you have a championship fight, and he's introducing the guy. It's the last fight of the night, and it's like a big crescendo. It's like the first fight, it's Oh, this fucker to the left, this fucker to the right. You get to the last fight of the night. It's the main event. They're fighting for gold, and it's the reigning defending. I mean, he's ready to rip somebody's head off. Even though. So he's, by the end of the night, it's that, and so, just I forget where I was going, but I don't care at this point. So we're just rambling here towards the end of the show.
Now his last show was, your last show was last Friday. Last Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday coming up.
Yeah, they're going to be in Ohio State, I think.
Okay.
Even though it's a Fox game. Yeah, because if I remember correctly, when he did the headgear pick, they are Ohio State is like 28-14, or his picks are 28-14 when Ohio State plays.
Oh wow, okay.
Or something like that.
Right.
So, yeah, I got to bring back the Philly Fade on Thursday night.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I did the show last Thursday, and it was actually like 2 hours later. Actually, I think I was in bed. I'm laying there. I can't fall asleep. I'm like, fuck, I forgot to do my pick for the football games this weekend. I was only going to pick one game.
Right.
And good thing I didn't, because Stanford lost to Hawaii.
Yeah, they did.
And this would have been a typical game that would start my season of losing in the most bullshit ways imaginable. Did you hear about the kicker from Hawaii?
No, what about him?
He's from Japan.
Okay.
And he learned how to kick field goals off of a YouTube video.
No. Because you can learn everything from YouTube, huh?
And did you see the comment I made about the Nationals pitcher yesterday?
Don't think so.
What did I say exactly? Because I want to quote myself here properly. I post way too much shit. Well, first of all, this isn't it, but I shared this yesterday. Remember, no one can prove that you weren't a regional manager of Blockbuster, Radio Shack, or Toys R Us.
That's true. That's true.
I gotta try that.
Yeah.
Nah. You know what they say? No, you're too young for that.
Can you prove it? Can't prove it.
Well, they can't ask for your age.
No.
But they still get your ID just to prove that you're human, but for whatever reasons. Okay, so here it is. This is from yesterday. And this is the shit that I post from time to time. And I posted also on X. I actually post on there first because I'm like, well, every once in a while you get a viral quote every now and then. So here it is. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Am I the only person who wonders if Ogasawara knows how to wax on, wax off?
I saw that. I did see that. I read the comment on that. I did see that, yeah.
So that's the stupid shit that I post from time to time. And why do I do it? Just for a laugh.
That's all, yeah.
You know, if it gets a couple of followers on X or anywhere else, you know, that's fine. But, you know, and, I got to tell you about something off the air.
Okay.
Because one of my grade school friends was making a political comment here. And I got to give you somebody's new nickname.
Okay.
Because of like different things I've been seeing, whether they're true or not. That's why I'm being vague and not talking politics.
Right.
Off the air, you can't come after me. And also, I think you would like the name that I gave him today.
Okay. Gotcha.
And once I tell you the tie-in with this, you'll understand why. But
okay.
So there's that. You know, and that's the thing. I just like to joke around, you know. And that's why you should follow me, because you never know what I'm going to post. Like, for example, I post on my Insta stories, and you have to actually go to my Instagram at Joe Quills. Or if you follow me on Facebook, you can get on there. Now, there's a reel that was posted by the handle She Cow. Now, before you start your shit on that name, I'll let you know right now that her last name is Cowell.
Okay.
And probably because her maiden name is Sheehan, so she did She Cow. Her husband is under the handle He Cow.
Okay.
So basically, it was actually a reel from like 4 months ago, and it was one-liner insults, like your two brain cells are fighting over third place or something like that.
Right.
You know, things like that. You know, I'll play that for you as well after the show.
Okay.
But you know, it's those things I like to share on Instagram because, you know, get a laugh out of people. It's like, you know, sports. The fuck is this?
Right.
But you get the idea. So, but Phillies lose 13-3 tonight. Phillies were up 3-0. Jordan Romano also got a haircut. That didn't help him.
No.
Well, just remember, if you hate your job, just remember. What? Actually, let me find that. I'm actually going to find this here so you guys can actually hear this. I'm not sure. Okay. I got a doozy of a story for tomorrow night. Actually, I might do a whole show of, may not necessarily be stupid shit that I saw related, but just some goofy stories that I found. It's not there. Hold on. Archive. If it'll fucking load. Let's do this. All right, you're not gonna be. Of course, you're not going to fucking cooperate. Oh, here we go. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I found it. Okay. So this is from Frosty from Philly on Instagram, and he talks about Jordan Romano.
Okay.
I think that's on here, right? Okay, here we go.
You ever feel like you're having a bad day and you feel like you suck at your job? Just remember, Jordan Romano is still on a Major League Baseball roster. Keep your chin up.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Well, that's the stupid shit that if I can find it and make you laugh,
right.
That's what I want to do. That's my goal. You know, oh, it's offensive. It's this. It's that. Grow a fucking pair. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, but in regards to this, you know, it is what it is. So, but so that is going to be it for this show, and I think I've done enough rambling. I got 2 different things I got to show you here. So, Mike, thank you once again.
Of course.
And thank you, Pork Chop. Thank you for our 2 spammers. And thank you for everybody who's watching, wherever you're watching tonight. I think we're having some issues tonight because I don't see anything on X tonight, which I think is bullshit. Let me see. No, I am on there. Well, 11 people were watching over the course of the show, but it's not picking up on my count here. And that happens from time to time. But Restream's been acting weird lately. But anyway, so thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. And you know that I may be doing some 3 goofy-ass stories that I found on Instagram. I just got to see if they're legitimate. Because, you know, I don't want to I don't want to talk about a story and then 5-10 minutes later I'm looking like I see somebody. That story was from 2 years ago. It's like, fuck. But I'll do some research on it tomorrow because I'm off from work tomorrow. Thank God, 5 days in a row is enough for me. If I try to explain to some people why I do it. It's like, are you nuts? Yeah, I am. I also got 2 down here too. But anyways, that's it. Before I get my ass into trouble, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And if you see me streaming other than this 9 o'clock range on the East Coast, I'm probably gaming out of the park baseball. That's going to be coming soon. Just got to do a couple of things before I get started. So do appreciate each and every one of you. Let's do it live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock here with the Joe Quills Show. And I'll see you guys in the winner's circle. Have a great night, everybody.